Hello everyone and welcome on this live safari. Slightly delayed, apologies for that, but you haven't missed anything, so that's the good news. And Tebs, who's on camera with me this morning, and I have been waiting patiently here with a few sleepy animals, one of which is the hyena you're looking at now. It's waiting patiently, very cleverly nearby. And what it's waiting for is the chance that there may be some spillage from a leopard kill which is hoisted up in this tree. It's not very easy to see, but there are some remains up in one of the forks of this tree. There we go, of an impala kill, and there's probably enough left there to keep Karula, a female leopard who's been feeding on this kill since she made it on Sunday night. And that on the right hand side of the fork there's a bit of the impala's head, and on the left of the fork a bit of the back remains. About 10% of the carcass, but again not too easy for you guys to see. Certainly enough food to keep Karula in this area and also to warrant that hyena waiting here. Now we'll show you the full picture. So over to our right, over there somewhere, is where the hyena is, and then up in the tree here is the kill, and then down to our left is where Karula, this female leopard, is. And she's fast asleep, and can't blame her really. She's been gorging herself on this impala for, like I say, 3 full nights: Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, 4 nights. So a long time. And I guess they only feed for kind of short periods. They're not going to feed permanently on any kill, so timing is everything. Yesterday evening we were lucky enough to get quite a lot of action. Some other hyena were on the scene. She had to hoist an impala fetus which she had pulled out of the adult impala that's up in the tree behind us. She had hoisted that up into an apple leaf tree because hyenas had moved into the area and given her a bit of a hard time and chased her up there. So that was a great sighting that we had. Our timing was perfect just about, but now we are going to have to be patient. It's a beautiful cool day though, so it's not going to be difficult to sit around. Lots of cloud cover. I'm going to ask Tibbs just to pan out to the east. There's a pretty scene unfolding there. The sun's doing its best to try and punch through these cloudy conditions, but I don't think it's going to succeed anytime soon. And even on the way into work this morning, there was a little bit of drizzle on the short drive. Basically along the edge of these clearings is where some of us stand. The rest of the camp are probably about 3/4 of a mile away. So it was drizzling earlier. Let's hope the rain stays at bay. Another thing that will be happening later on is that Jamie will be conducting a drive from 8 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. So there will be an hour and a half of extra viewing. She will be catering entirely towards some schools that will be watching, so it's a slightly younger generation, but a lot of you, I'm sure, will be happy to join in on the adventure with her. So that's something exciting that a lot of you will probably be happy to hear about. Now, there are a few tiny pieces of meat at the base of this tree, sorry Tibbs, that we'll be able to show you. They are ever so small, but you can see a few little nuggets of red there, some shards of bone, and it looks like a millipede might be actually snacking on a small portion of the meat, maybe getting some moisture from it. They are decomposers, millipedes, and I'm not sure if you can see it there on the right hand side of top right, out of all those little red chunks of meat and bone. And that is what the hyena is going to come and snoop around for. I'm surprised it didn't or hasn't found it already, not too sure why. It's just those tiny little morsels that they will be interested in. And I don't recognize this hyena. I'm not sure if we have seen it here before. The other hyena that was here yesterday evening seemed to look different to that. For those of you who were watching, maybe you'll remember. And they're not animals we get to spend too much time with, so let's go and get a closer look of this hyena for you. Brent is also out with us this morning in another vehicle, and he's searching desperately for any sign of the Salala Pride around the northwestern corner of Djuma. There was word of them being around in the general area just to the west of our property. There we go. So now that we're a bit closer, maybe some of you will be able to remember whether this one was in fact the one from last night. But to me it looks like a slightly younger individual in better condition. And we've already got our first comment through. This one's from Edward. Good to have you on safari with us. And Edward has picked up on this hyena hanging around for 3-day-old impala carcass and mentioned that he's certainly not envious of that situation. And I guess you're right, Edward, but in the same breath, 3 days of maturing in the tree may make for a slightly more tender impala than a fresh one. I'm not too sure what the animals actually prefer, but it will be easier to feed on and consume a slightly more well-aged piece of meat. Look at how nervous it gets when the wind picks up. You can see all those little bushes around it blowing in the wind. And even one of the apex predators of this area, the hyena, will still be cautious around a kill. It knows that there's a chance that lion could be in the area, that they could catch wind of this kill. So great that we got to see it kind of looking about like that, just making sure it's not complacent. It looks very, very comfortable using its little paws there as a pillow. What I always think about is how many interactions and how much time do these animals spend within close proximity to one another. Does Karula, this female leopard, know this hyena personally? Does it remember how many kills this hyena has stolen from it? I've got a feeling that they do. Because just like the leopard, the hyena are also territorial. And territorial animals such as these, who will interact a lot with one another, naturally should get to know one another as individuals. I do think it's possible. I'm not sure what you guys think. Hello to Mischian in Dallas, Texas, and always good to hear you're on board with us. Mischian's one of our more regular viewers, for those of you who may be new to the safari, and it's very easy to send through questions like Mischian has just done. You can hashtag Safari Live rather on Twitter, or send an email through to questions@wildearth.tv. Anyway, Mischian's interested to know which is the most patient of the cats when it comes to hunting. Not an easy one to answer, Mischian. I guess it will depend a lot on the individual, but I would put lions, leopards and cheetah, all the big cats, into kind of quite a similar bracket when it comes to hunting. But maybe leopard will be, in general, the most patient. because they do rely on their stealth more so than lion, who can rely on stealth combined with numbers. They've got the numbers always aiding them, whereas animals like leopards, which are solitary, don't have that extra help. So possibly that, also the fact that cheetahs are the fastest mammal on the planet, that's a huge advantage that they have over the leopard. And that's why maybe I'd lean towards the leopard being the most patient, because they need to be the most stealthy, lie in wait, be very, very close to their prey before they explode and try and bring them down. So I'd probably say the leopard, but a lot will depend on the individual. You'll get some leopards which are impatient hunters and therefore not very successful hunters. I think patience is a critical component and an important one when being a good hunter. So probably the leopard, and other animals like hyena and wild dog, they'll be the least patient of them all, because they are not stealth hunters, they are stamina hunters, and they can run huge distances before they bring down their prey. Hello, group of water. And group of water would like to know if this hyena is a male. It looks like it could be, again, just judging from its size. Males are slightly smaller than the females, but cannot be certain. This is a youngster, still in good condition. Spots are still very prominent, so I think it's a male. And the hyena is just looking up at Texan's vehicle. He's just arrived in the sighting. So that's what he was looking at. You'll see a little blur of a vehicle in the background. It looks like he's repositioning. I'm just going to tell Tex what's going on here. Tex, I'm just with one Amnesia here, and then Karula's on the other side of the jackalberry. Well, as this hyena lies in wait patiently here, Steph would like to know, how long will hyena wait? And I guess just like Misjan's question earlier, a lot will depend on the patience of the individual. But I've seen hyena waiting at carcasses for many, many hours in the hope that they will get some food. Well, not in the hope, in the knowledge that they will usually get at least some kinds of scraps. But I guess it depends on how desperate they are and what's happening around them, Steph. I have also in the same breath seen a lot of hyena come and go from kills, and once they know of a kill in a given area, they may not invest constant time to it, but they'll keep stopping by as they come and go from their wanderings. I guess in scenarios where lions may have made a kill, Steph, they'll wait again 3 or 4 days just waiting for the lion to move off, in the knowledge that there'll be some bones and little scraps left for them. But whether they decide to again wait permanently there or come and go to check up on the status of the predator and the kill, I guess it will just depend on a number of different variables. Hello to Mauricia in Texas, and she's reminded me of an awesome sighting we had not too long ago when a pack of wild dogs was attacking a hyena. It was actually 2 hyena initially, one got away, and then the pack of 10 adult dogs began to concentrate their efforts on attacking one individual hyena. And it did seem fairly shredded up around its rump where they were doing the majority of the attacking and biting. But nobody has seen it, Mauricia, so nobody's seen a hyena running around with any injuries yet. a very brutal attack, or at least the injuries that it sustained didn't look to be fatal, but we haven't seen it. I haven't heard any updates from any of the guides, but it'll be interesting to keep an eye. Hold on. I thought I heard a jackal alarm calling. It could have just been some Birchall starlings right behind us, though. Sorry, Jebs, I'm just going to stand up a little bit just to make sure I know what's going on back there. Jackal will alarm call at an animal like a leopard or other predators, so no, there's no sign of it back there. So I'm thinking it was just a Birchall starling that kind of hit an off note, or maybe my hearing just played tricks on me. The alarm call of a jackal goes something like this. Wow! And not too dissimilar from the call of a Birchall starling. I got really excited though, because jackals will alarm call for animals like I say, possibly leopard, but also lion, any of the major predators. It looks like the hyena has spatchcocked its back legs open. That's why it looks abnormally wide at its back end. Kind of splayed its legs open, as I'm sure a lot of your domestic dogs and cats will do from time to time. Now it is up to you guys as to what we should do, so please let me know your thoughts. We have been here now since, well, basically for an hour, and nothing has changed. The hyena has been waiting here, the leopard has been sleeping behind us, and that could of course all change like it has right this second. Perfect. So we don't have to worry about sending through your thoughts as to what we should do just yet. Well, maybe start sending them through. If nothing happens here in the next few minutes, we can head off and see what else is going on. It sounds like Brent's vehicle is causing some trouble, and he's not managing to send out a picture, so that's why you haven't got an update from him just yet, but he is out and about searching, which is good. Great news. Brent's picture has literally just popped back up, and he's found a track of a hyena that he would like to show you. So quite applicable as this hyena heads off away from the kill. He will give you an update on how his morning's going and also show you a track of that animal. See you later.
Welcome to Safari Live. My name is Brent Smith. I have Brian Joubert on camera with me. And I know you guys have been with Scott and Krula and hyena, so I thought it would be quite interesting to stop and have a look at some hyena tracks. Here we have the back foot of an adult hyena. You can see quite small, probably the length of my index finger there, and quite narrow. So hyenas don't carry a lot of weight on their back legs, and they've got that massively built front part that's designed to be able to lift incredible weights of meat and carry them away from carcasses. So with that in mind, have a look at the front track. It's probably double the size of the back track, and obviously the front legs far more developed, far more muscular, and that helps with them being able to lift and carry those large pieces of meat and bone and that away from carcasses. This is quite fresh from last night, and it actually is heading towards quarantine. So who knows, possibly this is the same hyena that's with the Queen of Juma at the moment. But it is quite a cold and rainy morning. Fortunately, the drizzle's gone away. It was drizzling a little bit when we started this morning, and there's a little bit of breakup in the cloud happening. I'm hoping it continues. I really prefer the warm weather. It'd be nice to see a bit of sunshine. But we've gone out and we've looked along our western boundary this morning. There was reports of the Tsalala pride of lions moving towards our boundary. Unfortunately, there's no sign of them crossing just yet, but we will definitely be keeping a very close eye on that boundary. So now we're going to head down towards the Buffelshoek area, towards the northeast, see what's going on there. There is some fresh signs of elephant around. I haven't heard any yet, we haven't spotted any, but I'm hoping they're about. And always good to be out in the bush early in the morning. You can hear the birds calling. That very beautiful, which is a boo-boo, which is a type of shrike. And even with this cold, windy weather, insects after the rains, lots of food for them, and I'm waking up, getting ready. They're quite excited, like all the insects after the rain. Lots of food for them. We make our way along the edge of the drain down here. This road is running to quite a nice area. So we're going to slowly make our way down towards the drain down here. So the water road is running to quite a nice area, down to this area and down towards the drain down. Duplex soil. So the water sounds from the crests down to this area. Grazing. So you quite productive duplex species in these areas. Sound on top of clay. There's really good grazing. So you quite often find some of the grazing species in these areas. And where there's a lot of grazing species, there's always the potential for predators. So at this time of the year, after the rains, the termites are out in profusion, specifically the alates. So at this time of the year, sort of breeding version of the termite, and Donovan is out in profusion, specifically the alates. The alates is the sort of breeding version of the termite, and Donovan is asking if we can find some termites.
Well, I'm not sure what's got Karula's attention, but she does. Well, I'm not sure what's seem a lot more alert attention, but than she was earlier. While we were watching that hyena, I was continuously looking back to keep an eye on her, and she was completely fast asleep than she was earlier. While we were watching that hyena, I was continuously looking back to keep an eye on her, and she was completely fast asleep, interested in something. It's in the direction of the kill. And she seems to be looking. Moments ago, she popped her head up and seems quite interested in something. It's in the direction of the kill, and she seems to be looking. Not sure what she's heard or what she smelt. What's interesting, while we're sitting here, and as Tibbs is zooming out to her right, an animal, there's a log. And in the front of this fallen down log, you'll see some Tibbs is zooming out to her right. A lot of you will remember this as our old fireside chat spot. And in the front of this fallen down log, you'll see some black earth. A lot of you will remember this as our old fireside chat spot with all of you. And we've spent quite incredible that now she is just a few meters away. Sat around that campfire with all of you. Almost exactly where the camera would be set up. A little bit to her right. Just a few meters away. Tripod. Almost exactly where the camera would be set up. A little bit to her right. Used to sit on the camera tripod. So just as well you can see that fireside chat spot. The log that we used to sit on that is termite ridden. So just as well we've got a new fireside chat spot. Not going to sustain our weights for much longer. That is termite ridden. So I did put it through to you guys a little bit earlier as to what we should do next, and so we can go elsewhere, come back a little bit later, or we can stay here earlier as to what we should do next, and we can go elsewhere, come back a little bit later, or we can stay here. It is up to you, because Brent is before she does something. I'm not sure if any of you we could kind of have all of our bases covered. Already sent through your thoughts before she does something. I'm not sure if any of you send us through your comments. I'm torn. I don't know what to do. Already sent through your thoughts. To stay. Let's stay a little bit longer while you do send us through your comments. I'm torn. I don't know what to do. Rewarded with some. Half of me wants to stay going up the tree. The other half of me and be patient, and that way we could be rewarded with something cool. We could get to see her going up the tree. The other half of me wants to go off and explore elsewhere. So send through your thoughts, which will help us. Hello to Ellen in Arkansas. And while we sit here and hope for more action, we can... Hello to Ellen in Arkansas. Hypothesize with Ellen's question. We sit here and hope for more action. We can... Will high leopard ever hypothesize down to Ellen's question? Who may be waiting below Ellen's them. Interested to know, will high leopard to ever drop some kind of a distraction or a diversion? Who may be waiting below them? And in order to create some kind of a distraction or a diversion, and if it dropped any food to the base of the tree, all that would happen is that even through default, which does happen, that would work. And if it dropped any food to the base of the tree, all that would happen is that even through default, which does happen, the hyena would simply feed on it. Carcass dropped to the ground. If there were a big piece of meat there, two hyena could that then may change things. Possibly get so caught up in fighting over those scraps that yes, then the leopard would have a perfect diversion. Possibly get so caught up in fighting over those scraps that yes, then the leopard would have a perfect diversion. Even if they are uncomfortable, they're not leopards, because they're safe up here. There's no reason to be happy to sit up in a tree and rather take their time, even if they are uncomfortable, because they're safe up there. There's no reason much of their precious kill as possible, and rather take their time, to hyenas. So as far as I've seen it, make sure that they keep as much of their precious kill as possible, rather than giving it to hyenas. So as far as I've seen it, and it's not something that leopards will ever do, but it could, on a very bizarre scenario, actually have a positive effect for the leopard. And still on the topic of leopards, hyenas and trees, Reese has mentioned that surely it's safer for the leopard up in the tree. On the topic of leopards, hyenas and trees, Reese has mentioned that surely it's safer for the leopard up in the tree. It is certainly going to be safer up in the tree, Reese. And yes, that is true. Leopards do back themselves and they can climb up trees, even these little silver cluster leaves that are surrounding it now, which are close to it. Leopards do back themselves and they can climb up trees, even these little silver cluster leaves that are surrounding it now, which are close to it. But usually hyenas will not scamper up there if need be, especially if the leopard doesn't put up a fight. So what you'll usually find is when a hyena comes onto a scene like this, it smelts a carcass, especially if the leopard doesn't put up a fight. So also smelt the leopard. What you'll usually find is when a hyena comes onto a scene like this, it smelts a carcass, it knows that there's something up. It's probably also smelt the leopard. Doesn't have any meat. The leopard's going to know that the hyena is not going to meters away from the leopard, and if it sees that the leopard doesn't have any meat, that's all the hyena's here. It's not to pick a fight. The leopard's going to know that the hyena's not going to worry it, and it's going to keep looking around to kill up in the tree. There's no need for the hyena to simply to look for another meal, attack the leopard. So with the kill up in the tree, there's no need for the hyena to matched in terms of size, attack the leopard, and therefore it would be an unwise risk or gamble for either a hyena or a leopard to get into a tussle with one another, because it could go either way, and therefore it would be an unwise risk or gamble for either a hyena or a leopard to get into a tussle with one another, because it could go either way, and they know that. One lone hyena. Lion, on the other hand, they know that they're a lot more dominant and bigger in most cases than in certain scenarios where competition is guaranteed in one favor. The one animal will be willing to take risks in certain scenarios where competition is guaranteed in one favor. Thought about and calculated operations that don't happen as often as you'd think they do out here. But usually fights are very thought about and calculated operations. They don't happen as often as you'd think they do out here. Hello to Brian in Philadelphia, and good to know you watching again. For those of you who are new to the Safari Live experience, hello to Brian in Philadelphia. Before he came out here on Safari, only about 6 months after discovering the Safari Live experience around November last year. Came out here on Safari, only about 6 months after discovering the Safari Live experience around November last year. Brian, good to know you still enjoying PC. The Shangaan, which is the local language, the Shangaan South Africa, you get an Mnisi is an MPC, and so it varies throughout different parts of South Africa. You get an Mnisi, and in Swahili, also a Bantu language that they use up in Kenya, it's called an Mfisi, if I'm not getting the two confused. And in Swahili, also a Bantu language that they use up in Kenya, it's called an Mfisi. The names of animals that are used in the Bantu language. Ideas of the similarity. There's something else that's quite strange that is unique to that safari area that has just popped into the sky. There's something else that's quite strange that is unique to it is the safari area that has just popped into the left in the sky, flying tips to try and find it. It is somewhere up to our going to left in the sky, flying around. I'm sure We will be able to spot it, but we are going to, if it continues flying around, I'm sure somewhere behind these trees, able to spot it. Up in the gap here to the left, Tebs. Somewhere behind. Oh, no. Tebs, it's disappeared again. Oh, no. What we're looking for is the drone. Disappeared again. Andrew is out and about nearby. And what we're looking for is I'm sure the drone. At some stage you may be getting some out and about nearby aerial views of where we are, and as you can see, Karuna, I'm sure at some stage you may be getting some by the drone for now. Aerial views of where we are. You'll just try as you can see high enough away and far enough away so that the kind unaffected by the drone for noise that it makes, and doesn't just try and keep it high enough away and far enough away so that hold on to your seats, everyone. You're about to get that it rockets it up into the air. Doesn't affect it. Looking down on us shortly. And hold on to your seats, everyone. You're about to get rockets it up into the air, and you'll be looking down on us shortly. You can get some great views from up there. Lots of big marula trees. A few trees that have been pushed down is something to look out for. You can get some great views from up there. Lots of big marula trees. A few trees that have been pushed down is something to look out for. Which is a tree that we parked next to with the kill in it to our left. And you might see some very bright trees on the darkest green silver cluster leaf trees, which is a tree that we parked next to with the kill in it to our left. You might see some very bright famous quarantine clearings, silver cluster leaf trees that we don't have too many of in the Sabi Sands. Famous quarantine clearings, kind of rarity out here, and I love the scenes and the beautiful scenery that you can in the Sabi Sands, because it's open areas, quite a thick kind of rarity out here, and I love the scenes and the beautiful scenery that you can have in these areas, because it is predominantly quite a thick, well-wooded area, the Sabi Sands. It's great fun playing with these new toys. Who knows what other toys we'll be adding to our mix. It's great fun playing with these new toys. Who knows what other toys we'll be adding to combining technology with an age-old experience. Coming future, the Safari, it's always wonderful. But I think combining technology with an age-old experience of things. The Safari, it's always wonderful. Now, interestingly, you'll see quite a few vehicle tracks from where everyone's been making things. Most of the sighting, like I said earlier on, it's been 70. Interestingly, you'll see quite a few vehicle tracks from where everyone's been making most of the sighting. Like I said earlier on, it's been 72 hours, actually more, since Sunday night that we've been driving in and around here. You'll see a few other buildings in and around this area. There's the landowner's house that you may see, which is kind of attached to where the final control room is. There's also a few other buildings in and around this area. There's the landowner's house that you may see, which is kind of attached to where the final control room is. There's also his sister's house. You may see some of our stake, a little tent where Hayden's going to be doing some little tent for the Nacho Big Cat Week coming up, starting May 26th of November. A little tent where Hayden's going to be doing some in front of our vehicle. Big Cat Week coming up, starting on the 26th of November. Pressure on her, now but she's having no effect so far. She's not even concerned by this buzzing noise, and I guess you could just think it's a swarm of bees. But she's having no effect so far. She's not even concerned by this buzzing noise, and I guess you could just think it's a swarm of bees. Awesome. You can see Kira still fast asleep. Anna Marie mentioned it's a big mosquito. That would be horrifying. You can see Kira that size coming in. It would suck you dry in seconds. It's a big mosquito. That would be horrifying. Hearing a mosquito of that size coming in, it would suck you dry in seconds. And really is like the way you're thinking, which is something that happens from time to time on safari. You'll just be encompassed by a swarm of bees making its way past you. Which is something that happens from time to time on safari. You'll just be not interested in attacking, encompassed by a swarm of bees making its way past you. Their flight path, quite scary, but usually that does happen. Not interested in attacking, and they're just trying to get from A to B, and you may be in the middle of their flight path. So there's something that, like I say, does happen. I'm not sure if any of you have sent through your thoughts as to what we should do. I'm still needing some help on that. I'm not sure if any of you have sent through your thoughts as to what we should do. Remaining in
I'm
the
still
meantime.
needing some help on that. Good angle here.
Show you how much of the kills remaining in the meantime.
We've got quite a good angle here.
So as you can see, quite a lot of the carcass is still there. Not an easy angle, but she could very well be into the later parts of the evening. So still good prospects to have her around. She could very well be into the later parts of this evening. So still good prospects to have her around. Well, it sounds like there hasn't been too much of a response sent through from you guys, so I'm going to make the decision on my own. And we're going to head off. It sounds like there hasn't been too much of a response sent through from you guys, so I'm going to send you straight across to Brent, who is on the northeastern corner of Djuma, around Buffelshoek searching for any signs of life out there. Get an update from him, and we'll hopefully find something for you by the time we see you next. Around Buffelshoek searching for any signs of life out there. Get an update from him, and we'll hopefully find something for you by the time we see you next.
Look how full his gullet is on his back, on his crop. You have a look at that grey heron just below his neck. He just, as we drove up, we saw him swallowing quite a large crop. That little pouch just below his neck. He just, as we drove up, we saw him swallowing quite a large tilapia. This is a happy heron this morning, still quite dry. Great for your herons and storks and things are fishing a lot. Waterhole is still quite dry. Coming across this makes it great for your herons and storks and fishing a lot. And the ponds are here by the hippos. Coming across this makes it incredibly beautiful pattern. Drying mud and the ponds are here by the hippos. The Egyptian geese and goslings, they've still got 4 so far. And it started with 7. The Egyptian geese and goslings, tough being a baby out in the bush. Still got 4 lots of things to eat you. Started with 7, down to 4. It's tough being a baby out in the bush. Lots of things to eat you. I'm just trying to spot. I did see a little banded plover. It's now disappeared from my view. Little 3-banded plover. I keep looking for it. I did see a little banded plover. It's now fast. Brian disappeared from my view. There's a really pretty 3-banded pair of keep red-breasted swallows. And let's see how hawking fast Brian's feeling this morning. There's a really pretty pair of red-breasted swallows hawking. So they're catching tiny flying insects over the waterhole, above the water. And it's very, very interesting if you're catching different tiny flying insects, marten species and swift species above the water. They have different, it's very, very interesting trophic level, different swallow species, marten species and swift species. The red-breasted swallow feeds at one of the lowest levels. It is quite a big swallow. Trophic levels that they feed at. So all those sort of swallows, the red-breasted swallow, that spend the majority of their time on the wing and feeding on the wing. Swallow will feed at different heights. All those sort of not coming to too much competition. Spend the majority of their time on the wing and feeding on the wing will feed at different heights. Not coming to too much competition has escaped me. This little 3-banded plover is still keeping an eye out for the woodlands kingfishers. We know they've been seen around on the Djuma Dam cam. I haven't seen one for the woodlands kingfishers. Any of the other presenters have seen one yet. We know they've been seen around on the Djuma Dam cam. I haven't seen one. I don't know. I don't think we are keeping a sharp look out. The other thing we are looking out for this morning is baby impala. And I haven't heard one yet. But we are keeping a sharp look out. The other thing we are looking out for this morning is baby impala. And I saw one last night, but not on our Travis area. A few spotted to the east of us. And I saw one last night, but not on our Travis area. Edward has decided today is the day that we're going to see an impala lamb. I hope you're right, Edward, and I hope I'm the one who finds it. Edward has decided today is the day that we're going to see an impala lamb. I hope you're right, Edward, and I hope I'm the one who finds it. So I was out with Peter Pretorius yesterday and the National Geographic guests who were staying at Gallagher Camp. So I was out with Peter Pretorius yesterday and the to the east, National Geographic guests, and we did see staying at Gallagher Camp. Impala. In that vehicle, we've got Travis boundary to the east, my first one north of the year. Very exciting. We saw a baby impala. See my first one right near the Kruger National Park boundary. And we've got a woolly neck stork. That was my first one of the year. Very exciting. Now I'm hoping in the distance in that dead knobthorn. Juma. And we've got a woolly neck stork. In the distance in that dead knobthorn. I've also been listening very carefully, see if we can hear any alarm calls or leopard and lion calling. Nothing so far. So I think we're going to continue, see if we can hear any alarm calls or leopard. Oh, just hang on, there could be a goose war so far. I think we're going to continue our search for the baby impala. Part of the. Oh, just hang on, there could be a goose war. The honking of the resident pair. A goose sent him on his way. That's not part of the. On their way, and he's carried on. We're going to go look for the honking spot of the resident pair. Have sent him on his way. Okay, let's go see. On their way. I'm going to make my way towards another spot of water. Our eastern boundary. It's a big fire. It's nice and open. See. And I'm going to make my way towards. Fingers crossed. Our eastern boundary. It's a big fire. It's nice and open. And the impala generally around there. So fingers crossed we'll find a baby. Drying out, and obviously there's a whole host apart from the obvious thing. We just had a look how the water like those drying out, and obviously there's a whole host apart from the obvious things. There's obviously a whole host of insect species where water is very important part fish of their development. Things like mayflies, there's obviously and dragonflies, insect species, and lions and water is very important part of this mean for things like mayflies and dragonflies and lions and fair. Sorry about that. What does this mean for things like the dragonflies? What it does mean is that dragonflies are not as numerous as they would be. So fortunately, a lot of these aquatic insects have quite a short life cycle. Dragonflies are so they're not as numerous as they would be. So I'm quite sure we still aquatic insects have quite a short and this little bit of life cycle. Depending on the dragonfly species, able to reproduce very quickly. So I'm quite sure we still have be able to around and this utilize some of the paddles that are from the dragonfly species or gamselfly species. So they'll be able to cool wind this morning. Utilize some of the paddles that are from that. Quite difficult to find them by that. So this wind that's like to be this morning might make it somewhere on one of these crests like we're driving up to now. Probably like to be somewhere on one of these crests like we're driving up to now. Try to hunker down from the wind. And we're going to jump across to one of the signs of summer we've been talking about with Scott, and hopefully we'll be back with the baby impala. Jump across to one of the signs of summer we've been talking about with Scott, and hopefully we'll be back with the baby impala.
Now I know some of you have seen one on the Juma Waterhole cam. The zoomies beat us to it. Woodlands Kingfisher. It's probably the same one. Now I know some of you have seen one on the Juma Waterhole cam. The zoomies beat us to it. And it's probably the same one. I really do want to get some closer views of it, but you would have had a few glimpses of one of... Where did it go? The most awesome additions to our views of it, but you would have crew here had a few glimpses of one of Woodlands Kingfishers come all the way from the most awesome additions to our summer crew here. It's quite a late arrival. Woodlands Kingfishers come all the way from central parts of Africa.
Only 4 or 5 days
It's
ago.
quite a late arrival in terms of the migratory birds.
Now we've got to find one and show it to you.
4 or 5 days ago was the first one heard.
Did fly closer towards us here, so
only now have we got to
hopefully
find
we'll
one
be able
and
to get
show
you a
it to
closer
you.
view of it.
Just a glimpse. They're incredibly pretty birds.
Electric turquoise blue. They've also got a wonderful call
But I'm hoping you're going to hear shortly.
incredibly pretty birds. Electric turquoise blue. They've also got a wonderful call.
Thames has spotted it. I'm just going to move for a couple of meters and then
You should get another good view of it.
well spotted Thames. Thames has spotted it. I'm just going to move forward a couple of meters and then
You should get another good view of it. This is going to be a great view from here. This is going to be a great view from here. Look at how cool that bird is.
oh, sorry Thames. Just took my foot off the brakes and that's what
Look
sent
at
you
how
all
cool that
flying.
bird
But
is.
level up the
Sorry,
vehicle
Thames.
now.
Got a
Just
fantastic
took my foot
view.
off the brakes and
Bright
that's what
red
sent you
upper
all
beak,
flying.
buds, dark black
Level
lower
up the
beak.
vehicle now.
Got a fantastic
Very
view.
Zorro-like
Bright red upper
eye
beak,
stripe,
dark black lower
mask
beak.
over both eyes. That very incredibly
Zorro-like
bright turquoise
stripe,
blue coloration on its
black
wings. Mask over both eyes. Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of these birds. They're
Incredibly bright
huge
turquoise
entertainers
blue
and performers
coloration on
out
its
here.
wings.
But often what they'll do when they're courting,
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of these
fighting
birds.
over
They're
territories
huge
and nest sites
entertainers
is
and
when
they
they
land in
land
a
out
tree.
here,
They'll
hold their wings up. Often what they'll do when
jump,
they're courting,
doing full
fighting over
180 so that you
territories
get
and
to
nest
the
sites is
display
when they
their
land in a
bright
tree.
blue
They'll
wings.
hold their wings up to a 360-degree world,
doing full 180 so that you get to
therefore
the
showing
display their
everyone
bright
far and
blue
wide
wings.
this bright blue
To
impressive
a
colorations.
360-degree world.
So
we'll get to show you them
hops,
doing that.
therefore
We'll
showing
also get
everyone
to show
far
you
and
them
wide their bright
letting
blue
off their
impressive
colorations. Call. So
Which
we'll get to show
call
you them
out
doing
now.
that. We'll also get
They
to
are
show you them
incredibly vocal.
letting off their chick.
And that's what
Call.
hello. And that's
Which you
what
could even call out now.
What
They
helped
are
us actually
incredibly
find it. We
vocal.
came into the area knowing that
And
there
that's
was one lurking about.
and that's patiently waiting for it to call.
What helped us actually find it, we
that
came
led
into
us
the area
closer to
knowing
where
that
it
there was
actually
one
was
lurking
perched.
about you. And just sat
Patiently waiting for it to call.
and that led us closer to where it actually was perched. And it sounds like a lot more of our viewers
Are watching on YouTube these days at Nancy and Adrenaline Rush.
It sounds
Like
like a lot
urging
more
us
of our
to
viewers are
come out
watching
and
on
search for the
YouTube
Woodlands
these days,
Kingfishers
so
and
your
Nancy
request
and
has been
Adrenaline
answered.
Rush.
And I hope you're
Urging
enjoying
us
these great
to
views.
come out and search for the Woodlands Kingfishers.
So your request has been answered. And I
Now,
hope
despite
you're
its
enjoying these
name
great
being
views.
Kingfisher,
It's a little bit misleading because the Woodlands Kingfisher
despite
feeds
its
almost
name
entirely
being
on
Kingfisher,
insects and small reptiles.
it's a little
but
bit misleading
that
because
was
awesome.
the Woodlands Kingfisher feeds almost entirely on insects and small reptiles.
in the way, but we could get some good views.
I might just need to move forward or backwards ever so slightly.
Hold on, close by. There's a few thick branches in the way, but we could get some good views.
I might just need to move forward or backwards ever so slightly.
Hold on there, Tibbs.
Look at the beautiful blue colours there and that bright red beak.
So obstructed, but you still get a good idea just how
Look at the
beautiful
beautiful
it is.
blue colours there and that bright red beak.
So obstructed,
this
but
could
you still
well
get a
be
good
a
idea
new
just
bird
how
for your
impressive
bird
it is.
lists.
Because really we have only joined
This
the
could
Safari
well
Live
be
experience
a new
during the
bird
winter
for your
months.
bird lists.
This would be your first sighting of the Woodlands Kingfisher.
Have only joined
the Safari Live experience during the winter months.
That name down.
And
This
this
would be your first sighting of the
Woodlands Kingfishers. So, as I was saying, they are hunters of
that name down.
terrestrial animals. They are not fish or aquatic hunters, as their name may suggest. I'm just going to reposition again. Terrestrial animals. They are not fish or aquatic hunters,
as their name may suggest. I'm just going to reposition again. I think we're going to be able to get some good views on it. Now, we've just got a question through from D asking how to distinguish between male and female of the Woodman's kingfisher. It's incredibly difficult. D asking how to distinguish between male and female. It's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to distinguish between the two because they look identical. It's incredible. It's just like the lilac-breasted rhino and many other birds, the starling, because they look identical. There's no sexual dimorphism. Just like the lilac-breasted what you'll find is that the other birds, the starling, is bigger than the males. There's no sexual dimorphism. Usually what you'll find is that the females actually bigger than the males in the bird kingdom. We only keep searching for our saw where it flew off to. That's the one way you could possibly tell. On the left. We only keep searching for our saw where it flew off to. Oh, here it is. It's somewhere up ahead. It's on the right shot. Oh, here it is. It's actually not on the left. It's on the right shot. As we go past this empty waterhole, maybe a good time to answer Deanna's question. She's interested to know as we go past this empty and they are where there is waterhole. Maybe a good time to answer Deanna's question. She's interested to know where all the hippos are. Look at this. And they are where there is water. The same tree that was perched in the Zumi found at waterholes. So it's one of its favorite spots. Look at this. This is actually the same tree that was perched in when the Zumi found it, I think. So it's one of its favorite spots. Sitting on the temperature zooms on a tiny bit, you'll be able to see the dam cam up in the tree behind it there. Far away from there we go. So that's where we get a live feed 24 hours a day. See the dam cam up in the tree behind it there. And there we go. So that's where we James, a live feed playing with the drone 24 hours a day. There you can see Andrew happening here. James playing with the drone in the background, but you can see Andrew's looking up into the sky. What's happening here? Doing a combination of looking, not too sure where the drone is, but you can see Andrew's looking up into the sky as well as keeping an eye on the drone itself. Doing a combination of looking that vehicle is, there's no signal for the drone. That's why you guys aren't getting taken on any flights. Keeping an eye on the drone itself. Sadly though, where that vehicle is, there's no signal for the drone. That's why you guys aren't getting taken on any flights. What they'll do is, especially when looking for prey, little grooming session there. They create bobblers of their heads. What they'll do is, especially when looking for prey, little grooming session there. Head from side to side to help focus. Time, and they do lock targets. Keep an eye out for that. Like a grasshopper down on the ground, they'll often bobble their head from side to side to help focus. Keep an eye out for that. Hello to Deanna in Colorado. And she would like to know how long can we expect these kingfishers to be around for before heading back to the central parts of Africa. She would like to know how long can we expect these kingfishers to be around for. Spend about 4 months here. Heading back to the central parts of Africa. 3 to 4 months, leaving around the end of February, March. Probably spend about 4 months here. And they'll only 3 to 4 months, leaving attempted to around the end of February, March. Some chicks, not all migratory birds will breed in this area. Once they have attempted to kingfish successfully raised, some chicks, not all migratory birds will breed in this area. Of them feeding, but the woodman's kingfisher certainly will. Into a cavity retreat, they were lucky enough to get some views of them feeding a little snake. A lot of you will know of that cavity from the winter months, as there's a rock monitor that often sleeps in that hole. I'm just going to reposition the vehicle quickly, from the winter months, as there's a rock monitor that often sleeps in that hole. Cheetah plains. I'm just going to reposition the vehicle quickly, Billy, and the good news is Cheetah Plains to get a view of him and his tortoise shell helmet. He's wearing his tortoise shell again. The good news is, you'll get to get a view of him and his tortoise shell helmet. He's wearing his tortoise shell again. Very often. It's the first time I've ever seen one. As he passes by, we'll get you some views of that. Billy, I was just looking at a woodlands kingfisher. You don't get to see very often. It's the first time I've ever seen one. Billy, I was just looking at a woodlands kingfisher on your left as you go past there. So I'm just going to stop here, and that way Tim's will hopefully be able to get you some shots of Billy with his tortoise shell without getting too much of his guests caught in the shots. Hello everyone, how you doing? With his tortoise shell without getting too much of his guests caught in the shots. Hello everyone, but I'll call you when I find them. Cheers everyone. I'm not too sure, Billy. Have a good morning. I don't have any idea where anything is. Isn't that? But I'll call you when I find them. She was asking me where are the imbalas, where are the lion? Well, isn't that good fun? Sadly didn't know the answer to it. He was asking me where are the imbalas, where are the lion? I don't know Billy very well. He's new in the area. I look forward to getting to know him a little bit better. But for now, all I know is that he wears a tortoise shell on his head from time to time. He's new in the area. I look forward to getting to know him a little bit better. But for now, all I know is that he wears a tortoise shell on his head from time to time. What's interesting is a lot of migratory birds will come back to very similar spots every year. And Chris in Australia would like to know if the migratory birds actually come back to very similar spots every year. Research for you and Chris in Australia would like to know if the woodlands kingfishers could actually come back to the same territories on a Carmine bee. Research for you right now. I'm guessing that they could very well come back to the same territories on a highly territorial. Wahlberg's eagle, which are migratory birds, will come back to the very same nest, as will a lot of birds. Will be highly territorial. The Wahlberg's eagle, which are migratory birds, will come back to the very same nest, that the woodlands kingfisher will. But I'm just going to do a little bit of research very quickly that it's safe to assume that the woodlands kingfisher will know the answer, but can beat me to it. Do a little bit of research very quickly through and confirm that with you. Unless any of you know the answer and can beat me to it, well, Brent's found through magnificent antelope, and we're going to stay with this woodlands kingfisher. It looks like it's interested in a bit of hunting. But enjoy the antelope, and we'll be back with you shortly. And we're going to stay with this woodlands kingfisher. It looks like it's interested in a bit of hunting. But enjoy the antelope, and we'll be back with you shortly.
We've come across some kudu, one of the biggest antelope we get here. Welcome back, beautiful female. We've come across some quite dark this morning. One of the biggest antelope we get here. They're all sort of beautiful female. Hair follicle. And see, she looks quite dark. And what that does is trap sort of a blanket of air next to their body, which warms up. I'm going to move around a little bit to try to see if we can see that. There's a nice young male with this sort of a blanket of air next to their body, which warms up. I'm going to move around a little bit to try to see if we can see them. There's a nice young male with this group as well. Quite a few of them. There she is. She's quite in this wind. Obviously, some of their senses are dulled. They can't hear and smell as well. Well, there she is. You can see behind her there's a few more of all the nice new shoots. Taking advantage of all the nice new shoots. So we've been doing quite a few of the boundaries this morning. It's always great to check who's coming in or who's going out. And so we've been doing quite a few of the boundaries this morning. It's always great to check who's coming in or who's going out. Like there's a sighting there. Speaking of that, I've just spotted again. We track the animals themselves. Sometimes we track Homo sapiens, but they're parked like there's a sighting there. So not only do we track the animals themselves, sometimes we track Homo sapiens. Just from the way they're parked, I'm just looking at my bino to try to see what they're looking at. Not just a impala or a kudu. Just from the way they're parked, I'm going to guess it's possibly not just a impala or kudu. So we're going to shoot down there. I'm just going to keep, just in case there's a leopard or a lion, and while we do some low flying there, just in case see what's there's a leopard or a lion, and while we do some low flying,
well, interesting stuff there on the boundary with Brent. And I look forward to hearing what that other vehicle is looking at. Well, interesting stuff there on the boundary with Brent. So, in my little bit of research that I've just done, the other vehicle is looking at, established that these birds can actually return to the same nest site for up to 6 years. Research that I've just done, year after year, established that arrive back, these birds can actually return to the same nest site for up to 6 years. What they'll do is they'll chase it out year after year. And if they arrive back, the woodlands kingfishers away, and they find another bird and they command using their nest, what they'll do is they'll chase it out. But I guess if whoever has chosen their nest is bigger than them, kingfishers, then they command a lot of respect out here. Have to surrender. And I guess if whoever has chosen their nest is bigger than them, then they well have to surrender. Chris Rogue has just mentioned that she loves watching these animals hunt and kill their prey. And what they'll do when they catch big insects that need to be dispatched is just mentioned that she loves watching these animals hunt and kill their prey against branches or rocks. And what they'll do when they catch big insects that need to be dispatched is they'll clobber them. A lot of that viewing on the Juma cam. So a great way to still be on safari while we are resting. And Chris Rogue between drives. She does a lot of that viewing on the Juma cam. So it's wonderful. A great way to still be on safari while we are resting between drives. So what will be interesting, I guess, on the topic of them returning to nest sites is whether or not they use the same nest that we knew where they were nesting last year. In that, so what will be interesting, I guess, on the topic of them returning to nest sites is whether or not they use the same nest that we knew where they were nesting last year. In that monitor lizard hole. A big reason why a lot of the birds will migrate back to these parts of South Africa every summer. A big reason why a lot of the birds will migrate back to but good food makes for a good holiday. Of South Africa every summer is for food. Along with almost every single migratory bird in good weather, but good food, the majority of their protein and food from the flying ants, kingfish, along with almost every single migratory bird will. Some of you have seen the majority of their Facebook page from flying ants, the winged reproductive termites. And some of you may have seen the video on my Facebook page, Scott Dyson Safaris. If not, have a look. It's apparently heavier than all the mammals. And well, maybe biomass slightly wrong, termites maybe the amount of food that the termites process is more than all the mammals. The amount of food that all the herbivores process. Well, maybe getting that slightly wrong. The bottom line is there are the amount of food that the termites process is more than everywhere under the ground in these big termite mounds. Just because we don't get to see them. The bottom line is there are massive amounts of them everywhere under the ground in these big termite mounds. Just because we don't get to see them. In their millions, take for granted hundreds of thousands. Actually are. The birds and as these reproductive termites leave their nests in summer months, in their millions, humans can also feed on them, if not hundreds of thousands. And last year, birds will feed on them. Pretorius, one of the other presenters who's back in town now, extremely high, actually lucky enough to also feed on them. A young hyena, fully grown but young, last year, walking through the Pretorius, one of the other presenters who's back in town now, literally just plucking them out the air. A young hyena, fully grown but young, at a time, walking through the quarantine clearance like a about to pop out, literally just plucking them out the air. Mouthful, just one flying ant at a time. Way of how obviously nutrients in it's going to need to be quite a few area are recycled. Termites specialize in feeding dead plant matter. It is typically a way of how undigested nutrients no other animals can process this area are recycled. Termites specialize in breaking down dead plant matter. That is typically undigestible. And then getting it into other animals can process it. So it can be for these termites reused in the nutrient cycle. A lot of dead plant matter. Termites will actually go directly into the bellies of a lot of animals. That way, the nutrients will be used in this nutrient cycle. And a lot of termites will actually go directly into the bellies of a lot of animals, and that way the nutrients will be spread and sent out and dispersed back into the ecosystem. We are going to be making our way back to Karula just to check in on her. She may be up in the kill feeding on the remains of this impala kill. We are going to be making our way back to Karula just to check in on her. She may be up in the kill feeding on the remains of this impala kill. It sounds like Brent may have heard some elephants. He's just trying to get the vehicle into a better spot. Let's just have a quick look what's going on there. That's good news. It sounds like Brent may have heard some elephants. He's just trying to get the vehicle into a better spot. So that's good news. Not what I'm thinking of doing is going and having a look back at the lilac-crested rona nest. I did pop in there briefly yesterday evening. Brent would have managed to find those. I was hoping that I was going to get a good video of the chicks, which was really growing so quickly. Having a look back at the lilac-crested rona nest. I did pop in there briefly yesterday evening to show you guys how their progress is coming along. I was hoping that I was going to get a good video of the chicks, which are really growing so quickly. Didn't get the best video, so we'll try and possibly get another one to show you guys how their progress is coming along. You may have just joined the show, is up in this dead tree, up in this tree to our left that we just passed by, and then she's lying up just in front of us, and exactly just joined the show, is up in this dead tree, up in this tree to our left. We've just passed by, and then she's lying up just in front of us and exactly by our presence, which is great. We left her earlier. Wonderful that we can come, have a close look at her without really disturbing her. She's completely unfazed by our presence, which is great. And we'll do a loop around into another area of Djuma, so we'll probably... And that'll take us down to an area called Philemon's Dip. Sadly, Philemon is not still around into another area the road is named after, Djuma, but he was obviously quite significant. And that'll take us down to an area called Philemon's Dip. Sadly, Philemon is not still around, the person who the road is named after. But he was obviously quite significant. Speaking about termites earlier, this is a termite farm many years ago. A small one. I'm just going to point out different sized and shaped ones for you. So we're speaking about termites here. This is a termite mound on our left. Kind of small one to our right here. A small one. Doing a great job. I'm just going to point out different sized and shaped ones for you. Not only that, also as we go along. It's another kind of small one to our right here. They'll be doing a great job feeding on the tree, but not only that, also little bits of grass. We're beginning to see a very big one up ahead of us. And Jen on Twitter has just asked, how long will a termite mound be active for? And we're beginning to see a very big one up ahead of us. And Jen on Twitter has just asked, this termite mound, Jen, a queen, long will a termite mound be active for? This termite mound, one individual female who years, turns into generations of termites could live in this termite mound. She won't look very termite-like at all. Who will be and she'll be main leader in what is called the royal chamber. One individual female up to 30,000 turns into an egg-laying single day. Those eggs will be removed from the royal chamber and termite-like at all by worker termites. And she'll be immobile. The same worker termites will also bring her food, where she'll lay up to 30,000 eggs every single day. Those eggs will be removed from the royal chamber and be tended to that, so she can live for termites elsewhere. The same worker termites will also bring her then depends on many variables, either another successor queen or reproductive for flying ants, up to 10 years, possibly even more than that, so she can live for a very long period of time. When she dies, it then depends on many variables, either another successor queen or reproductive flying ants, which is what we see after the first summer rains into a few days ago, metamorphosize into the termite mound. Some of them could stay in there, one of them could become a future successor, and that's where the termite mound could grow, which is what we see
over many generations, and therefore 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years, the termite mound could carry on with different generations of a future successor. And that way the termite mound could grow but over many generations, and therefore 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years, the termite mound could carry on with different generations of queens.
As a guess. Now, this one, I have no idea how old it is, but I mean, it's a big structure. Termite mound, how successful the queen
I'm guessing it could
eggs,
be
how often they get raided by other animals.
20s,
as a guess. But again,
so what's interesting is that when these specific termites, which are quite large, decide to start leaving,
we haven't seen any of these ones leaving yet. The ones
raided by other animals
leaving were harvested termites. This is a large fungus-growing termite. So
these specific termites, which are quite large, decide to start leaving.
But these large fungus-growing termites, what you'll notice when they are getting leaving were harvested termites. This is a large fungus-growing termite. So you get different types of termites. There'll be little kind of smiley faces. Large fungus-growing termites, what you'll notice kind of horizontal slots or slits for the reproductives to leave is that it's especially horizontal slits that part of the mound will be little kind of smiley faces emerging out of before flying. Horizontal slots or slits with a very distinctive kind of landing pad. It's out of these horizontal slits, dissimilar from the termites, the harvested termites that reproductives we filmed just a few days ago, emerging out of before flying. They also have a kind of launch pad to send the reproductives kind of landing pad, and that was a small tube coming out of the ground. The harvested termites that we filmed just a few days ago. Subterranean, so you don't see them kind of sticking up above the ground. Reproductives off from. They just built these tiny little small tubes coming out of the ground. Out of the harvested termites, and that's where the termites were ejecting themselves subterranean, so you don't see their mounds sticking up above the ground. And they just built these tiny little tubes. And yeah, you're exactly right. The termite mound we're looking at now is the termites were ejecting themselves out of large fungus-growing termites. So what they'll do is they will feed on dead plant matter. And yeah, you're exactly right. The termite mound we're looking at now collect their droppings, which are only very partially digested. It's not termites. So what they'll do is they'll feed and lignin on dead plant matter. And then, but what they will be able to do is then they'll collect their droppings, which are only very partially digested. It's not easy for them to digest the cellulose to further break down in the dead plant matter that they can then re-feed on. But what they will be able to do is then farm a fungus on those fungus is doing its job on the planet. And that fungus helps to further break down their dung that they can then re-feed on. Once it's in a more digestible form. Termites clever enough to be able to farm the fungus is by controlling the temperature, the moisture levels within this termite mound, and they'll do that by opening and closing the various slots. Oh, they've got a visitor. A millipede. Aren't those termites clever enough to be able to farm the fungus by controlling the temperature, the moisture levels within this termite mound, and they'll do that by opening and closing the various slots. Oh, they've got a visitor. So a hive of activity. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump out quickly. What's interesting with termite mounds, in order for castle farm their fungus effectively, they need to keep the temperature constant, as I say, and not constant, but at a nice what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump out constant temperature. And what you can feel is that often farm their fungus effectively, they need to keep the top of the chimney temperature constant, as I say, not constant, but at a nice warm, kind of fairly constant temperature. And what you can feel is that often there's very hot air being emitted from the top of the chimney in the termite mound. Let's maybe go and have a closer look and let you know. It's so warm and humid. I was just keeping a close eye on Karuna there, and you wouldn't believe it, but she actually just got up. She was heading towards the kill. But the air was very hot. And I was just keeping a close eye on Karuna there, and you wouldn't believe it, but she actually just got up and heading towards the kill. It's something that's definitely worth trying to experience when air was very hot. Uncommon on a cold day like this. And humid birds sitting at the entrance of that chimney, or the exits of that chimney, and something that's definitely worth trying to experience when out in safari. It's not uncommon on a cold day like this to see birds sitting maybe at the entrance of that chimney, or the exits of that chimney. This is going to be so cool. We might actually get to see it jumping up by them. Well, there's a few vultures flying around now and a battaleur. And maybe that the birds have got her attention. This is going to be so cool. We might actually get to see her jumping up into the tree. I'm not sure if a bateleur, which is a carrion-eating bird, came and landed in the tree, trying to steal some of the kill. That may have woken her up. I'm not too sure though.
Now get ready to take some screenshots because at any moment she could jump up into the tree.
Bird came and landed in the tree, trying to steal some of the kill. That may have woken her up. I'm not too sure though. Should be wonderful to see.
Now get ready to take some screenshots because at any moment she could jump up into the tree.
Oh, she's looking up. She's thinking about it. That's for certain. Oh, she's looking up. Beautiful. She's thinking about it. That's for certain.
Now, I'm not sure which side she's going to jump up. That's always a tricky one.
Beautiful.
Or whether she is going to jump up at all. Now, I'm not sure which side she's going to jump up. That's always a tricky one. Or whether she is going to jump up at all.
Well, like I said, it could have been just the fact that she wanted to chase away these carrion-eating birds. The bateleur, and there was a white-backed vulture that I saw swooping away.
Well, like I said, it could have been just the fact that she wanted to
work her up,
chase away
thinking
these
about
carrion-eating birds. The bateleur, and there was a white-backed vulture
that I saw swooping away. I don't think that is the case. Maybe they just kind of
reposition the vehicle ever so slightly so we can go thinking about the meal.
The actual kill as well, but she's not convinced just yet.
Reposition the vehicle ever so slightly so we can get a view of the actual kill as well. Okay, here we go.
Hello, Adrenaline Rush. And hope you're enjoying the safari. Adrenaline Rush would like to know, how much do I think this leopard weighs? Hello, Adrenaline Rush. She hasn't been weighed or captured for research or any reason like that, so hope you're enjoying the safari. She has never been weighed officially before, which very occasionally does happen. This leopard weighs. And I've never actually seen a leopard weighed or captured for so research to be certain, but I would guess at around 40 kilograms, somewhere around 80 pounds. She has never been weighed officially before, which very occasionally does happen. Possibly slightly more than that, possibly slightly less. I've never actually seen a leopard that has been weighed, so difficult to be certain, but I would guess at around 40 kilograms, somewhere up to 100 kilograms. A big male Adrenaline Rush, so weight. Possibly slightly more than that, possibly slightly less would be the average weight of a female leopard in this area. Males ranging up to 100 kilograms, a big male Adrenaline Rush, so a lot will, like I say, all just vary on the individual. Angela's just mentioned that Kurila doesn't actually look that bloated considering she has been feeding on Impala since Sunday evening. And you're right, I mean, that's the benefits just mentioned that Kurila doesn't actually most other predators once they kill she has been feeding on Impala since Sunday evening. Less haste then, and most other carnivores. I mean, try and get that's the benefits as quickly as possible before they get stolen. Most other predators is once they kill is in a tree, they can. There's a small chance we might be able to get a glimpse of this vulture. Less haste about. That's what she's looking at. Most other carnivores try and get their meals consumed as quickly as possible before they get stolen. But it's so low below all these trees that it would have been impossible to see. But at least be able to get a glimpse of this vulture that's lurking about. That's what she's looking at. An idea of what she was looking in the background there, but it's so low below all these trees that it would have been impossible to see, but at least you got a glimpse
an idea of what she was looking at. I don't think it's going to be worth going anywhere just yet. I think she's could well go up this tree and have a few more mouthfuls of impala. No guarantees though. Oh, big yawn screenshots. I don't think it's going to be worth going anywhere just yet. I think she's sign that she is thinking of moving. This tree and have a few more mouthfuls of impala. So is this the grooming? No guarantees though. Oh, big yawn screenshots. Come on, Karula. It's also a very good sign. Climb up the tree for us. That she is thinking another of yawn, moving. I think. So is this the grooming? Come on, Karula. Climb up the tree for us. Here comes another really would love it to go up the tree. I know some of you would have seen her jumping up the tree, but it's not something we get to see very often. I really would love her to go up the tree. I know some of you would have seen her jumping up the tree, but it's not something we get to see very often. Not looking promising. She's looking back though, thinking about it. Uh-oh. Not looking promising. She's looking back though, thinking about it. This morning. Where are you going to go and relax now, Karula? Possibly on a termite mound behind us. She has been spending a lot of time on one set termite mound, which is about 50 meters to our west. Where are you going to go and relax now that she's comfortable that the killer's safe termite mound behind us? Battlers have moved off. She's going to be spending a lot of time on one set termite mound, which is about 50 meters. Just keep an eye on her. Our west. Try and get you some more visuals of her on she's the comfortable that the killer's safe. And that's sounds the like Brent is having off. I think she's going to get back to her sleepy ways. With the elephants. Just keep an eye on her. Try and get you some more visuals of her on the move. So that's sounds like exciting prospects a little bit later on once she does go back to sleep. Some joy with the elephants. Hooded vultures just taken off above us, so that's an exciting prospect for a little bit later on once she does go back to sleep, or if she does go back to sleep. Great. Oh, hooded vultures just taken off above us. There it goes, got a quick glimpse of it. Aha! Great. Now, the leopard's running back as quick as she can. Back towards the tree. How cool is this? The hooded vultures landed in the top of that tree. Well, that's exactly where the killer's. Oh. Now, the leopard's running back as quick as she can. The leopard's just back towards the tree. How cool is this? The hooded vultures landed in the top of that tree. And the vultures come out. That's exactly where the killer's. Oh. So she would have been up in the top of that tree. The leopard's just gone up the tree. Try and get back to the tree. We're going to see what she's doing. And the vultures come out. With the vulture. So she would have been up in the top of that tree very quickly. And I'm going to try and get back to the tree. Let's see what she's doing. Actually, I'm going to be interested to see how high up in the tree it's done. Wasn't that incredible? Alright. Here comes the vulture flying past us again. Now I'm going to be interested to see how high up in the tree. There we go. She has got. The vulture has caused us to have a wonderful sighting. I wonder what her next moves are going to be. There we go. Well, we're in luck. The vulture has caused us to have a wonderful sighting. I wonder what her next moves are going to be. can see the kill just a meter or so directly below her. You can see the kill just a meter or so directly below
kind of
her.
view of this leopard.
Basically directly, not directly underneath it.
But Elaine has noticed that she's very white on her belly and chest, and is that normal? It certainly is, Elaine. Rare kind of view of this
golden
leopard.
coat is on directly, not directly
upper
underneath
parts
it.
and more visible parts of their body. She's very white
on
very
her
white
belly
and
and
chest, and
it's
is
the
that
same with
normal?
lion.
It's
White undercarriage, you could say.
Golden coat is on the kind of upper parts and more visible parts of their body,
and that's because
they're very white underneath, and it's the same with lion.
Usually tucked against the ground
undercarriage,
you could say. So it's not abnormal, her coloration. She's perfectly
that's
normal.
because
they don't need camouflage on their belly. That's usually tucked against the ground.
Leopard-like
Things are getting comfortable in this jackleberry tree. I think we can reposition it again. So it's not abnormal, her coloration. She's perfectly normal, normally coloured leopard. She's doing very leopard-like things. Now getting comfortable in this jackleberry tree. I think we can reposition it again. Better view of her now that she's got comfortable. Should work. Should work. Wasn't it wonderful to see that interaction earlier? Kevin, you are certainly right. She is completely aware of her surroundings and didn't miss a beat there. As soon as that vulture took off, she had her eyes locked on it.
Wonderful to see that interaction earlier.
That's when she
Kevin, you
started
are certainly
trotting
right.
over just to make
She
sure.
is completely aware of her surroundings. That vulture didn't try and miss a beat there. As soon as that vulture took off,
because she didn't want the vulture to steal. When it landed in the tree, well, that's when she started.
She didn't want the vulture to dislodge the kill
just to
from the
make
tree.
sure.
And I'm sure that has happened on many an occasion. That vulture didn't try and off, relaxing
she would have been doing that because she didn't want the vulture to steal, not
safe
even
up in the tree.
More importantly, she didn't want the vulture to dislodge the kill
from the tree.
But if a bird comes and dislodges the kill on many an occasion,
aid the hyena
greatly in being able to run off
nearby with quite the knowledge that its kill is safe up in the tree from hyena, which may be lurking nearby. But if a bird comes and dislodges the kill, well, then that will aid the hyena greatly in being able to run off with quite possibly a large portion of the kill.
Well, it seems like things have calmed down now, and Brent, I think, is with some elephants that he has been searching for quite some time. So we're going to send you across there.
Okay, well, it seems like things have calmed down now,
and Brent, I think, is with some elephants that he has been searching for quite some time.
We've come across a wonderful herd of ellies.
So we're going to send you across there.
And I'm sure you guys might be able to hear the drone, which is flying high above us. And you can see the elephants right in front of the car taking absolutely no notice. Come across a wonderful herd of ellies. And I'm sure you guys might be able to hear the drone, which is flying high above us. And you can see the elephants right in front of the car taking absolutely no notice of the drone or us, reminding us that she's a big animal, big female. And the reason I'd say she might be pregnant, if we look at her teeth, they're very, very swollen. Oh, hello. Just saying hello. It's difficult to see when an elephant's pregnant from the belly, that she's a big animal. Her teeth are very, very swollen. The reason I'd say she might be pregnant, if we look at her teeth, they're very, very swollen. Is possibly a sign that she is pregnant. You can see it, but and she does. It's difficult to see when an elephant's pregnant from the belly. But the fact that her teeth are very, very swollen, maybe she's pregnant, but she doesn't have. I'm pretty sure she's pregnant with those enlarged teeth. Is possibly a sign that she is pregnant. You can see it. I don't know if you can see him yet, Brian. There is a tiny, tiny baby moving towards us. Belly. So maybe she's pregnant, but this one. Actually, I'm pretty sure she's pregnant with those enlarged teeth. A couple of weeks. Oh, there. I don't know if you can see him yet, Brian. There is a tiny, tiny baby moving towards us. We've got, so you guys can have a look. It's just in the bush next to us, but it's so small. A couple of weeks. Oh, see him there. I'm going to try to sneak forward a little bit. tiny, tiny baby there. So you guys can have a look. It's just in the bush next to us, but it's so small. Hiding under mom's belly. See him there, as they like to do at that age while mom is feeding. Good. Tiny, tiny baby there. Oh, it looks like they might come out into the open near us. Hiding under mom's belly, as they like to do at that age while mom is feeding. Maybe curiosity will get the best of the little guy and come give us an inspection. Oh, it looks like they might come out into the open near us. Rushing off down the road to go see what a game drive vehicle was looking at a little bit earlier, maybe. And it happened to be elephants as well. Unfortunately, they moved, when we got there, they moved further across the boundary. But we were lucky enough, we went on for a few hundred meters to see what a game drive vehicle was looking at a little bit inside earlier, Juma. And it happened to be elephants as well. Unfortunately, they moved, when we got there, they moved further across the boundary. But lucky enough, we went on for a few hundred meters and we found these elephants well inside Juma. But I think if we're patient and wait here, then might get a nice view of that tiny guy. There's another young one here, not quite as young as the. You can see this one's probably the little one behind. See if the tushes are coming out. But I think if we're patient, we're probably close here. A year or so might get a nice view of that tiny guy. You can see he already mastered the art of the trunk. And see this one's probably supplementing if the tushes are coming out. Vegetation. We're probably close on a year or so old. And also possibly a bit braver, moving a bit further from mom. You can see he already mastered the art of the trunk. Will stay very, very close to their mothers. Supplementing mom's milk with vegetation. And also possibly a bit braver, moving a bit further from mom amongst the herd, while the little ones will stay very, very close to their mothers. So I don't know how many elephants there are here, but there are quite a lot. I can hear them all around us. Just going to try to sneak forward again a little bit. I don't know how many elephants there are here, but there are quite a lot. I can hear them all around us. Try to sneak forward again a little bit. I don't think we're going to be able to get a view. They're going down into quite a thick bush. So we're going to have a look what you guys are seeing from our eyes in the sky. I don't think we're going to be able to get a view. They're going down into quite a thick bush. So we're going to have a look. You can see some of the seeing from our eyes in the sky. Green the bushes after the rain. We're just moving, and we've got a young elephant. Looks like a young cow next to us here. He's still out in the open. You can have a look. It hasn't headed into you can see some of the eddies. You can see the little ones. You can see I'm green the bushes after the rain. And we can see this eddy, and she's got a nice big piece of wild asparagus in her mouth. Looks like a young cow next to us here. He's still out in the open. And it looks like she's going to head off to join the rest of the eddies. Welcome back. Not quite yet. And we can see this eddy, and she's got a nice big piece of wild asparagus in her mouth. Moving down to the drainage line is quite thick. I think they might cross out to the other road. And it looks like she's going to head off to join the rest of these eddies on the other side of the drainage line. So I think we're going to lose visual of them here shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to move around quickly. Moving down to the drainage line is quite thick. I think they might cross out to the other side of the drainage line. And hopefully it sounds like there's some more eddies and I'm really hoping on the other side of the drainage line. A really good look. So I think we're going to lose visual of them here shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to move around quickly. Shouldn't take us too long at all. To the other side of the drainage line, and hopefully they'll be far more open, and I'm really hoping we get a chance to have while we move around, we're not going to have much to see while we do that. Let's go have a look at what the Queen of June's up to.
Well, you can see Kula is
while we move around, we're not going to have much to see while we do that. Let's go have a look at what the Queen of June's up to.
Twitching her head from side to side, trying to work out. You can see Kula to be most comfortable using her paw as a recent position, and seems to be getting fairly comfortable on this spot. She's been kind of twitching her head from side to side, trying to work out what is going to be most comfortable. This is her most recent position. Well done to Brent for finally getting you into a good spot to view those elephants. There don't seem to be as many elephants around today as there have been. Well done to Brent for finally the last week or so, getting into a good spot to view those elephants. Coming and going. They aren't territorial like this leopard. There don't seem to be as many elephants around today as there have been, and it's always interesting to note how their numbers do fluctuate greatly in the dropping, coming and going. They aren't territorial like this leopard than when they are around, because it's not always the case. And it's always interesting to note how their numbers do fluctuate greatly in the Sabi Sand, so it's great to make the most of Michigan earlier on was chatting about because it's not the white coloration under the stomach, and we've got quite a good view of it now. I mean, you can see this bottom half of her belly, there's a lot lighter in coloration, a lot less gold around her rosettes. Elaine in Michigan earlier on was chatting about the white coloration under the stomach, and we've got quite a good view of it now. I mean, you can see the tip of the tail, half of her belly, there's a lot lighter in coloration. The front of the legs are golden, but the back of the legs are white. And that's obviously because everything that they're stalking is only going to be seeing their front, right up to the tip of the tail. Even the legs which is dangled down now, the front of the legs are golden, but the back of the legs are white as they stalk their prey. And that's obviously because everything that they're stalking is only going to be to this tree, seeing their front, just looking for some, and also the top half of their body sleepy poses, and I'm getting tired just watching her as they stalk their prey. Oh, she's just flattened to this tree, which is looking for some very sleepy poses, and I'm getting tired just watching her. Now, a lot of you are interested to know if I think she could be pregnant. She certainly could be, but I'm not saying that because of her appearance. I'm saying that from the fact that she's been doing a lot of mating over the last few weeks. I know Tasmanian Devil was one of those viewers interested to know if she could be pregnant. I think she could be pregnant. She certainly could be, but I'm not saying that because of her appearance. I'm saying that from the fact that she's been doing a lot of mating of impala over the last few weeks. I know Tasmanian Devil was one of those viewers interested to know whether she could be pregnant or whether it's simply predators don't show nearly impregnated with impala many signs of being pregnant as do the impregnation of impala, causing them to larger young, like she could be carrying. The predators, it can be exceptionally difficult to tell that they are actually even pregnant. Predators don't show nearly as many signs of being pregnant as do giving birth to some new cubs, or at least that we've seen. With the predators, it can be exceptionally difficult to tell that they are actually even pregnant. We have not been able to film any little cubs. And they're incredibly cute, overdue giving birth to some new cubs, or at least that we've seen. Not only sharing their cuteness with you, but hopefully in the whole year that we've been there, we have been unfortunate in that we have not been able to successful in raising them, and then we'll be able to join in the adventure of a young leopard cub. Looking forward to not only sharing their cuteness with you, but hopefully the next leopardess to give birth to some cubs in terms of surviving, will be successful in raising them, and then we'll be able to join in developments in the adventure of the leopard young leopard and does manage to survive. We'll tell you in advance is up against terrible odds in terms of surviving. We can just monitor the growth to see some incredible baby birds and development. Birds nests that we are lucky, so it's many baby lucky and does manage to survive. That we are monitoring, no leopard cubs or even lion cubs, but that could change. I know now that the Birmingham boys, but for now we can just monitor the growth of baby birds amongst other lions of this area that we're beginning to fight amongst themselves for mating rights, and that we are monitoring around leopard cubs or even lion cubs, but that could change. I know now that the Birmingham boys beginning to the lioness that they have fight amongst other lions of this area, they're beginning to fight amongst themselves for mating rights. Some baby cats will be out and about Juma, literally around us, not on Juma so much. But for now, we've just got the adults to deal with, which is not a bad situation to deal with, especially if there are animals like the leopard. There's baby parts of Africa where you can view lion and cheetah. They're fairly easy to habituate and fairly common in wilderness areas. But what is not is the leopard, and they are often very shy and elusive, and especially if to get very close to them to view them. Many parts of Africa where you can view lion and cheetah, and the other leopards of the Sabi Sounds. It's what makes this common in wilderness destinations. So popular is the amongst the many places you can go in Africa. The Sabi Sounds is definitely one of the best places to see close to them, to view them, not nearly as much as Karula over here. Speaking of the leopards of the Sabi Sounds, it's what makes this wilderness destination so popular amongst the many places you can go in Africa. The Sabi Sounds is definitely one of the best places to see animals like this.
Before
the leopard.
Heading off into... Speaking of baby birds,
the nest cavity
we can monitor, which is only I think we're going to give you one last view of Karula. I don't think she's going to be doing any feeding. She's probably just going to be tossing and turning on what appears to be an uncomfortable log. The nest cavity of into this tree is because of the vulture, about 5 minutes away from us. A little bit earlier. Sadly, the elephants that was with earlier, feeding. She's probably just going to be tossing and turning on what appears to be an uncomfortable log. The only reason she came back into this tree is because of the vulture. Could not relocate them for you, so a little bit earlier. Sadly, the elephants that was with earlier, we're just going to send you across to for updates on what his plans are for the rest of the morning. And I'm going to continue on like I say for you, so the nest of the lilac-breasted rollers. Just going to send you across to for an update. So unfortunately, the elephants moved into a much thicker area, and we don't want to go bashing and crashing around the nest of the lilac-breasted rollers. We are searching for the first baby. So unfortunately, the elephants moved into a much thicker area, spots, and we don't want to go bashing and crashing, which are sort of everywhere. We've seen 3, and they were all males. So no ladies yet this morning. We are searching for the first baby Impala born on Juma. So we're hitting all the Impala spots so far. Impala, which are sort of everywhere. And then we've seen 3, and they were all males. So no ladies yet, open areas there. But we are hoping, we've already been asked about the plans, but shortly we're heading up towards Philemon's cut line, and also up towards the sand area from that area, and then head up towards heading all the Zoe's Road, some nice open areas there. And we've already been past the part of plans, but maybe it's worth another trip. See if we can see the next generation of Juma, that area. So heading all the likely part of woods. See if we can see the next generation of Juma impalas. Impala. King Impala. Are there babies there? I see 2 females. Let's slide. Impala. King Impala. Are there babies there? So this is our first. I see 2 females. Now we're going to look very carefully for a little one. I only see 2. Surely should be a few more. This is our first female. Now we're going to look very carefully for a little one. I only see 2. Surely should be a few more about. Morning, madam. So the one on the left is an adult who's likely to give birth. The one on the right is last year's baby. So definitely not ready for a baby of her own just yet. The one on the left is an adult. You can only see 2, which is quite unusual. The one on the right is last year's baby, so probably definitely female not ready sometimes do move away a baby from the rest of them just yet when they're about to give birth. Although I don't think the female can only see 2, which is quite unusual. Just yet, hoping there are a few more about.
Female impalas sometimes do move away from the rest of the herd when they're about to give birth, although I don't think the female looks like she's about. And it's important to pop just switch off and listen. Try and hear a little contact call that the baby impala make. And quite often it's important to switch off and listen. Listening for that, try and hear that little contact call that almost sounds like a little baby impala make. Best description of a baby impala contact call. Listening for that burp. Almost sounds like a little burp. You can see all their best description of raised, trying to form that instant contact around them. It's a very chilly morning, but no babies here. Let's continue our search for the first baby impala at Jima. You can see all their hairs raised, trying to form that insulated blanket around them. It's a very chilly morning, but no babies here. Let's continue our search for the first baby impala at Jima. So earlier this morning we were at the Busseltook waterhole, and speaking of babies, and they had 7 goslings recently, and they're down to 4. And Steph was just wondering, and while I spotted that, I spotted a pretty flower. Earlier this morning we were at the Busseltook waterhole, and speaking of babies, and they had 7 goslings recently, and that looks to be a different one to 4. We saw. And Steph was just wondering, and while I spotted that, it is of the same family. I'm just going to jump out and have a quick look. They're a nice big one there. And it's a different one. It is a crinum lily. It looks to be a different one to the one we saw on Arethusa a few safaris ago. It is of the same family. I'm just going to jump out and have a quick look. They're a nice big one there. Which is another it is a crinum lily. I'm not sure which one is. I'll have to double check. But which crinum lily? Pink, sort of very pink, almost looks like those sort of candy stick coloured lines that go up to the petal. So with a candy stripe crinum, which is another type we get here. I'm not sure which this one is. I'll double check. Most of the crinums are quite noxious, sort of so you don't want to get the sack on your skin. Like those sort of candy stick coloured lines that go up to the petal. This is a different crinum. And there's a very beautiful flower. Most of the crinums are quite noxious, so you don't want to get the sap on your skin. Beautiful, beautiful flower. And I am hoping that with this rain we will get a few more wildflowers out. They are one of my favourite things out in the bush at this time of the year. Add a splash of magnificent colour. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. And I am hoping that with this rain we will get a few more wildflowers out. They are one of my favourite things out in the bush at this time of the year. Add a splash of magnificent colour to the proceedings. So obviously out in the bush, and we are going through a very dry time, although we have had a little bit of rain at the moment. Claire, who's from the Big Apple, wondering where do we get our water from? Where is our water supply? It comes from underground water, so obviously out in the bush, and we are going through a very dry time on the property. We have had a little bit of rain at the moment. We get our water from Claire, who's from the Big Apple. Why are we moving along and looking for water from? Where is our water supply? Impala, and hopefully that first round of water, so aquifers. Speaking of the boreholes, something that's probably as big a fan of baby impalas as everyone else. Shadow move along and looking for female leopard. Lisa, and hopefully that first shadow season. Lisa, I wish I could tell you. Maybe she's found something that's baby impala nursery, and she's as big a fan of having of baby impalas as everyone else on there. Shadow, I haven't heard any female leopard. Lisa is wondering where Shadow heard of anything. Lisa, I wish I could tell you. West of us. Maybe she's found a baby impala nursery, and she was heading west, having a great time there. But I haven't heard of anything to the west of us on Arethusa about shadow for a while. Last I heard, she was heading west. So we just had a look at that wonderful crinum lily. And Penelope says, why doesn't it even do that? Well, Penelope, certain insect species and stuff will, but as I said, they are noxious. They have quite a strong. So we just had a look at that wonderful crinum lily. A lot of the bigger things don't. And Penelope says, why doesn't it even do that? And having a quick look. Penelope, certain insect species and stuff will, but they are noxious. They have quite a strong fine art, which kind of poison in them. And that's sometimes you have to go through 3 or 4 flower books before you find the right flower. And there's one other quick look in terms of all the books we have out here. It's one of the more difficult ones to get a book that covers everything on the flowers. Find out which kind that is. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to go through 3 or 4 flower books before you find the right flower. 4 flower books before you find the right flower. In terms of all the books we have out here, it's one of the more difficult ones to get a book that covers everything. We have out here, it's one of the more difficult ones to get a book that covers everything on the flowers. I'm just trying to see crinum. I'm relying on Brian's eyes to try and see crinum. I'm checking in my book to spot that baby. Multitasking. Checking in my book. Multitask. Multitasking. Reading. Looking. Maybe I should concentrate on 2, not 3. Looking. Maybe I should concentrate on 2, not 3. CR, yes. Here we go in the right CR, yes. Here we go in the right area. So I'm not seeing a crinum here. I'm not seeing a crinum. No, the crinums aren't in this book. CRI. No, the crinums aren't in this book. So it must be in my other book, which is the tome. So I will try. So it must be in my other book, which is the tome. Which that very white crinum. Find out which that very white crinum that's flowering at the moment is. So small and they're hunted by lots of things, so it could even be a mongoose. Being so small and they're hunted by lots of things, so it could even be a mongoose. But then again, it could be a leopard. And this is an area we do see shadowing from time to time. So maybe she's decided to grace us with her presence. Shadowing from time to time. So maybe she's decided to grace us with her presence. And another good impala area with no impala in it. And another good impala area with no impala in it. What are you shouting at, squirrel? What are you shouting at, squirrel? Doesn't sound too serious though, so it's not a really excited alarm call. Doesn't sound too serious though, so it's not a really excited alarm call. So, we just had an interesting question from Ravi in New York. Interesting question from Ravi in New York. The uses of elephant dung. They said a pillow for lions. The uses of elephant dung. They said a pillow for lions. For baby wild dogs. And obviously a food source and a ball for dung beetles. And obviously a food source has a lot more uses than that. But elephant dung has a lot more uses than that. A little bit, we'll look inside. And if we turn this one over a little bit, we'll look inside it. Let's have a look. Termites. There we go. Specifically, a lot of the ground-dwelling termites don't live in those big mounds. A lot of the ground-dwelling termites white and don't live in those big mounds. They can normally only harvest wood in that after it's dark. They normally only harvest wood make use of wood during the daylight hours. A lot of them to make use of wood during the daylight hours. Under the elephant dung from the sunlight, and you can see here where they've literally taken out specific bigger pieces of wood, where they've literally taken out specific bigger pieces of wood, fed on that, and left. There's another use that's a food source for termites. Fed on that, so there's another use that's a food source for termites. Nice thing from a people point of view. Another really nice thing from a very good point of view. Paper, elephant dung paper, and then actually there's something else eating the elephant dung paper, and then actually there's something else eating the elephant dung here. There's some mold eating the elephant dung. So there we go, food from mold as well. Mold eating the elephant dung. So there we go, food from mold as well. Another human use apart from making paper, which is quite nice. The elephant dung paper's got a wonderful texture, which is quite nice. The elephant dung paper's got a wonderful texture for elephant dung. Is another insect repellent for elephant dung. If you burn elephant dung, it's quite smoky and it keeps biting flies. If you burn elephant dung, it's quite smoky and it keeps biting flies. Literally, I think you could probably there's another use for them. Get to about literally, I think you could probably 500 to 1,000 different uses for elephant dung. Easy and different animals. 500 to 1,000 different uses for elephant dung. Different animals. And the birds will sift the insects that feed off it. And the birds will sift it to feed off the insects that feed off it. And there's a host of insects that will also feed off it. Yes, and elephant dung is used by a lot of trees. Yes, and to disperse their seeds used by a lot of trees. Obviously, the seed gets a nice to disperse their seeds. And obviously the seed gets a nice to start life in. And we will be, I'll keep checking. Sometimes you see those little trees coming out of the elephant. I'll keep checking. Sometimes you see those little trees coming out of the elephant. Also very good to throw at cameramen when they're when you're upset. Also very good to throw at cameramen when you're upset with them. So lots and lots of uses of elephant dung. Let's continue our search for baby impala. Let's continue. Let's remove our search while we have for baby impala. Look that up when we're with those ellies. Look that up when we're with those ellies. Scotty is incredibly great at finding birds' nests. I know Scotty is incredibly great at finding birds' nests. I know he's roller nest, so updated. So he can give you his roller nest. So bird update for the morning. He can give you his bird update for the morning.
So, this is an old video from the 10th of November. An old video just 9 days ago. The 10th of November, and just 9 days ago. That these little blobs are the rollers that got hardly any feathers. Blobs are the rollers that got hardly any feathers.
A little bit so that people can see what you actually are. If you moved a little bit so that people can see what you actually are.
So you can see there hardly any feathers. That's a tiny little wing there. So you can see there hardly any feathers. That's a tiny little wing there. Kind of sitting head to toe. Similar to how they're sitting in the next video that I'm about to show you. Similar to how they're sitting in the next video that I'm about to show you. 10th of November. So as you can see there, the date, sorry, at the top of the screen, 10th of November. Just 9 days later. Now, just 9 days later. Look at how much they've developed.
So you can
Look at how much they've developed.
Just one little head there, so you can see they nestled up next to one another. The second one's head, they nestled next to one another. The second one's head, direction. I think is facing bright feathers, the opposite direction. Look at just like their parents are now. And I think it'll be pretty soon before their parents are now come out. I think it'll be pretty soon before they come out.
How cool is that? I mean, ridiculous that in just 9 days. I mean, they can develop from just 9 days.
Featherless little fledgling into a brightly coloured, featherless little fledgling into a brightly coloured, almost adult looking bird. So the parents hunting, being able to not only feed themselves, but also serious hunting, being able to not only feed themselves, but doing a great job because they are growing incredibly, doing a great job because they are growing incredibly quickly. The first time we
filmed them on the 10th of November. Those chicks could have possibly on the 10th of November before. Could have hatched possibly looking at a day or two just about approaching kind of 2 weeks of age, and it's not just about approaching kind of 2 weeks of age, and it's not uncommon that around the 2-week period of small bird, so anywhere from 14 days to 21 days is your kind of average from 14 days to 21 days is your kind of average fledgling age. So that's something to look forward to, and it's just been so wonderful that we've been able to monitor and stitch together a video of them metamorphosizing into the final product, which will be quite fun. I certainly haven't been able to share the development of the chicks growing like that. With everyone before. It's been great to do it with you guys. So because Jamie is going to be doing an extended drive from end of the regular safari time AM, end of the regular safari time, catering mainly for some schools in Johannesburg, so young kids. I'm not sure what some schools in Johannesburg, so young kids. I'm not sure what age to join in as well. But I need to get this. Would love you guys to join in as well. But I need to get this vehicle back to her so she can start. It's time for me to say goodbye to all of you. Her drive, and which means it's time for me to say goodbye to all of you. It's been a wonderful morning. First Woodlands Kingfisher on camera. It's been a wonderful morning. First Woodlands Kingfisher on camera. I'll take that. Look forward to seeing more of them. Thank you very much. And also some good interaction. Look forward to seeing more of them between Karula and also the vultures. Seeing her run off back into that tree and eventually get some shots of the other vultures. Seeing her run off back into that tree and eventually get some shots of the lilac in the tree. It's a great way to end off the morning, as well as seeing. So thanks to Nikki in the final control room, and Kirsten. So thanks to Nikki in the final control room, and Kirsten and Louise, thanks to Tebs on camera, and to you guys for sending through your questions and comments. Tebs on camera. We're going to send you back to you guys for sending through your questions and comments. We're going to send you back to Brent, and enjoy the rest of the safari.
Just a little Steenbok that might have confused you guys for a second. I was trying to play a trick, but the Steenbok wasn't. Confused you guys for a second. I was trying to play a trick, but the Steenbok wasn't. But it was playing a female Steenbok. It's not regular. But it was stand still for us and disappear. And interesting name, stand still for us and disappear. And they've got an interesting name word, buck steer, which is a brick. It's one of their defensive mechanisms against predators, which is a brick. One of their defensive mechanisms against predators is to keep so still. Because a lot of the predators look for movement. I've actually seen a lot of the predators look for movement half a meter. Sniffing I've actually seen wild dogs pass within just half a meter. Sniffing the shut right next to it. And hoped it wouldn't get spotted. And it didn't. Very tight. And hoped it wouldn't get spotted. So we're still on the search for the first alien Impala. So we're still on the summer season for the first alien. Scotty got that Woodlands Kingfisher this morning. Summer season. Scotty got that Woodlands Kingfisher this morning. White Helmet Shrine. White Helmet Shrine. Hopping around in that little, you got him back, monkey orange, tummy forward back. Hopping around in that little, monkey orange, tummy forward back. Okay. White helmet sharks. Okay. Can't see what they're feeding off. White helmet sharks be feeding off something, or are they? Can't see what they're feeding off. They're up to something else. To be feeding off something, or are they up to something else? There's definitely something on that little monkey orange. They were feeding something on that little monkey orange. Fly off. We'll go have a look, see if we can see if they're feeding off aphids or they both fly off. We'll go have a look, see if we can see if there's aphids or ants or something. Such pretty birds. Oh,
They're such pretty birds. Could be baby spiders even there. Okay, they've moved off. Let's go have a closer look. This could be very fascinating. Moved off. Let's go have a closer look. This could be very fascinating. Hopefully they haven't finished everything that's there if there was something there. Hopefully they haven't finished everything that's there if there was something there. I can't see anything with my eyes from here. See if I can see anything on it. I can't see anything with my eyes from here. Here we are. This is the little. Here we are. This is the little. I can't see anything at the moment. Sometimes it just helps to just look a little bit closer for a few more seconds. Sometimes it just helps to just look a little bit closer for a few more seconds. See if maybe there was some spider web. See if maybe there was some spider web. Oh wow, I think that's just going to remain one of nature's mysteries. What were they up to? Oh wow, I think that's just going to remain one of nature's mysteries. Look like they were feeding on something that I can't see. Anything? Definitely look like they were feeding on something that I can't see. Check some of the other ones. Around that. Really just check some of the other ones. There's a little bit of spider web in this one, but no spiders as such. There's a little bit of spider web in this one, but no spiders as such. Around, see if there's anything. I thought maybe there might be some ants. And with aphids on there, maybe nothing. There might be some ants. And with aphids on there, but nothing. Fascinating. That's the wonderful thing about the bush. You never know what you're going to see. And you definitely that's the wonderful thing about the bush. You never know what you're going to see. Which is what makes it so rewarding to be out there day in and day out. Which is what makes it so rewarding to be out there day in and day out. So, we've got a vast variety of trees and flowers and bushes and a vast variety of trees and flowers and bushes and grass plants. Wondering if we have any Venus and flytrap plants. Not that I know of, not in the traditional sense of a flytrap. Not that I know of, not in the traditional sense of a flytrap, which are certain lilies and sort of carrion flowers, which are succulent. Will have a very sweet sort of watery substance that insects will fall into, very viscous, so they get stuck in it. And they do take nutrients from that in the same way. Very viscous, they get stuck in it. And they do take nutrients from that in the same way. The insect that like a Venus flytrap that actually close around. The insect that interesting landed there. Spider species. If I remember correctly, there's a really interesting spider carrion flowers in that. If I remember correctly, has that sort of viscous on certain carrion flowers in that. They have that sort of viscous that traps insect fluid called the diving spider. The flower and this spider traps insect. Literally takes scuba gear with it. And this spider, so what happens is it literally attaches the scuba right to the top of the flower. So what happens is it attaches its viscous liquid top of the flower. But as it does it sort of collects air bubbles into this viscous liquid. So it can breathe. It sort of collects air bubbles around deep into this flower. So it can breathe. And it'll go right down. It's amazing how this flower evolutions evolved that. It's amazing how that is special evolutions to a spider and a flower that are both special skill to a spider and a flower that are both competing for insects. Black-bellied busted. Black-bellied busted. So hoping it's going to do it. So hoping nice little call. Looks like more worried about preening and getting nice little good looking for the ladies. More worried about preening than and getting attracting them just yet. Good looking for the ladies. They've got that wonderful call. Then attracting them just yet. They've got that wonderful call, which is almost like sounds like a champagne cork popping. Which is almost like sounds like a champagne cork popping.
And see, scratching away, cleaning his chest, and you can see scratching away. Really, really cleaning dark chest, and you can see that is where he gets his name from. Really, really dark jet black. That is where he gets his name from. There we go. We can't hear it from here because of the wind. Oh, there we go. I'm going to try sneak a little bit closer. We can't hear it from here because of the wind. You can see him. I'm going to try sneak a little bit closer. That was. You can see him champagne. Close the mouth there. That was. From where we are with the wind, we just didn't catch the audio. From where we are with the wind, we just didn't catch the audio. I'm going to try, hopefully, edge a little bit closer onto this clearing. He's in a displaying hopefully, he's in a displaying mood. Still cleaning. There we go. Still cleaning. It's incredible how dark that black is. It's incredible how dark that black is. Didn't do the click, but did a little call there. Didn't do the click, but did a little call there. Oh, breakfast time first. Got to be well fed and looking good if you got to first attract the ladies. Got to be well fed and looking good if you got to attract the ladies. See those beautiful colorations around the head, white and black. See those beautiful colorations around the head, white and black. Is that still pecking away at whatever insects he might find in this grassland. Whatever insects he might find in this grassland. Looks like he's more concerned with finding breakfast at the moment than finding a mate. Looks like he's more concerned with finding breakfast at the moment than finding a mate. Disappearing behind the little weeping wattle. Should pop out again. Disappearing behind the little weeping wattle. A few steps. Should pop out again. And a few steps. There we go. Absolutely stunning bird. Absolutely stunning bird. Well, our search for baby impalas found us some interesting birds so far. Well, our search for baby impalas found us some interesting birds so far. So probably a couple of reasons why he's chosen this. So probably a couple of reasons particular why he's chosen this particular area to hang about in. Nice. He's stretching at the moment. Nice. He's stretching at the moment. His tail feathers up there. Maybe he's seen a lady and he's trying to get impressive. His tail feathers up there. He's jogging towards something. Maybe he's seen a lady and he's trying to get impressive. He's jogging towards something and he's trying to look impressive to chase it away. Or it could be another male and he's trying to look another way. This is a very well-groomed black belly bastard. Either way, this is a very well-groomed I've seen a female black belly bastard. Brian, if you come through I've seen a female black belly bastard. Brian, if you come there's a female black belly bastard in the distance, that's what he's seen. Very small. You see there's a female black belly bastard in the distance, that's what he's seen. You got her. She's quite far off. You got her. She's quite far off. Okay, let me try and move. Sorry, we can see the female bastard. Okay, let me try and move. Sorry, we can see the female. Don't disturb. I'm going to try to stay quite far away. Gentlemen, don't disturb. This gentleman's wooing. Lost sight of him, but I can see her. Lost sight of him, but I can see her. If you go
got her there, Brian? You got her there, Brian? So she's just on the edge of the woodland. So she's just on the edge of the woodland. And you notice she is very similar looking, but you don't see that really striking. Notice she is very similar looking head markings, but you don't see that really striking. And the black head does not extend as high up the throat. And the black does not extend as high up the throat. Okay, he's just off to the right of her, trying to act all nonchalant. He's just off to the right of her, but his tail's trying to act all nonchalant. Move forwards. She's coming right towards him. His tail's up. He's still going to try move forwards. Get both. She's coming right in the same spot. You got Brian. You got him now. Get both of them. She's approaching him. You got Brian. You got him now. She's approaching him. Okay, she's just behind him. Okay, she's just behind him. You can see he's acting nonchalant. I'm just here eating my breakfast, lady. I'm not really trying to impress you. But I'm just here eating my breakfast to look as impressive as possible. To impress you. But also notice the difference between my feathers to look as impressive as possible. Also notice the difference between the males that very white, striking shoulder. I'm just going to try and move forward slightly so you can possibly see both of them. Shoulder. I'm just going to try and move forward slightly so you can possibly see both of them. How's that, Brian? And look at that, his tail's all extended. And look at that, his trying to be all very suave. He's trying to be very suave. I think he gave the game away when he rushed forward. I think he gave the game away when he rushed teenager at a forward like in high school dance. Eager teenager at a high school dance. So we see two sort of busted or Quran species here, sort of busted or Quran species here. It's the red-crested frequently and the black and the red-crested Quran and the black and Vancy, who's busted. In sunny and southern Vancy, who's in California, southern California, is wondering what is the difference between the two. Is Vancy, what is the difference between the two? Regard its size. Vancy Quran's a small busted. Regard its size. The black-bellied busted is the smallest of the birds that actually goes by. Busted is the smallest of the birds that actually goes by. Busted. There we go. That's the only difference. Discernible difference is the size. The only difference, discernible difference is the size. The busted's are bigger. The popped his tail down. She's moving away. It looks like he's popped his tail down. She's moving away. And sort of failed in his wooing. It can go on for in his wooing really long time, so it can go on it's for not really long time. So a quick date. It's not a quick date. It'll carry on and on. It'll sometimes for days and on for him to sometimes for days pretty enough to prove himself, pretty enough, vocal enough to impress her, vocal enough to impress her. Let's just sneak down to this other little road. Let's just sneak down to this other little road. Check this area for baby impala again, but check this area for baby impala again, but it's not an impala. Now, the first morning we seriously look for them. We've seen first morning we seriously look for them. We've seen 5 females and 2 females. I'm feeling pay the Queen a visit, pay my respects before the end of drive. Queen a visit, pay my respects before the end of drive. See if anything's happening around that. And just remember, guys, Jamie will be taking a school drive after this. Jamie will be taking a school drive after this as well. So it will still be on air. So Jamie's drive will be broadcast and
will be starting straight after. We'll be starting straight after. We say our goodbyes. Nice for everyone, a bit of a bonus. Nice for everyone, a bit of a bonus. Extra safari time. Extra safari time. Just remember, guys, that's specific. Remember, is for the kids. That's the kids' questions for the kids to take. So the kids' questions are going to take, and precedence. We will be focusing on the kids' questions. So some of them might seem kids' questions, and some of them might seem a little bit childish, and that's because they're from a child. Sometimes 5, sometimes 12, but sometimes 8, sometimes 5, uncanny that a lot of the flocks will be 7 individuals. Uncanny that a lot of the flocks will be 7 individuals. So they're mostly insectivorous. They eat lots of little insects and bugs and spiders and things like that. Insects and bugs and spiders and things like that. Subject of the white helmet tribe, and still on the subject of the white helmet tribe, Janet noticed that incredible yellow. Janet noticed that around their eyes. Yellow. She said it looks like it's around really intense yellow. She said it looks. She's wondering what really intense yellow mascara, and she's wondering what it is composed of. Skin in that area. It's colored bare skin. So the skin in that area. So it's not feathers. It is actually there. The skin. It's not feathers. It is actually there. The skin. So before we before we hop into the Queen, I think I'm going to take one last gamble. I think I'm going to take, and we're going to head down towards the and we're going to head down towards the see if the hippos around as well. And see if the hippos around as well. Subject of impalas that we are on the subject of impalas that we are searching desperately for the moment in New Jersey. Is saying how in New Jersey live for. Is saying how long can an impala live for? Of course, if it does come someone's dinner. I'm not 100% sure, but if I remember correctly, it's 100% sure. But if I remember correctly, I have it. She started going grey in the face. She started going in Ireland in Lake Kariba, and that was on an island. I think she might have broken the records for Impala, but we didn't. She might have broken the records for Impala, but we didn't know exactly. But out here in the bush, it's very golden on the face, sort of age where they start graying around the fact that there are so many predators out there. The fact that there are so many predators out there. Hiding from the cold wind and the crests. Hiding from the cold wind and the crests. We're just going to speed up a little bit. Holla. But boys. So here we go. And these Impala, unfortunately, are not going to be producing any babies. Unfortunately, are not going to be producing any babies. The male Impala with those very beautiful. The male Impala with those very beautiful horns. Wondering, are there any bets between the presenters who's going to see the first? Any bets between the presenters who's going to see the first? Yes, but I think after this morning there might just be. But I think after this morning there might just really excited to see more birds. Lisa's just really excited to see more birds. And Impala birth this year. Impala birth this year. And we're going to keep our eyes out, the ears out for the woodlands kingfisher. We're going to keep as we move through to this area. I'm just going to check as we move through to this area. If there's anyone I'm just going to check on the game drive radio if there's anyone with Karula presently. Are there any stations with Karula? Are there any stations with Karula? Probably like someone we make them out shortly. Probably like someone we make them out shortly. So not an Impala in sight. So not an Impala in sight. The search for the babies continues. The search for the babies continues. We've got some parrots disappearing. We've got some parrots disappearing. And Peter, the pond hippo, Peter, the pond hippo residing in the little pan in front of the little pan in front of the Vuyatela camp. There he is, keeping the elephants at bay. Keeping the elephants at bay. Morning, Pete. Morning, Pete. Some oxpeckers. You can see some oxpeckers, and you can see some of that incredible battle scarring. And you can see some of that incredible battle scarring. His life fighting with Peter's hippos. Picked up in his life fighting with other hippos. Actually keeping the wounds open. We can see the oxpeckers actually keeping the wounds open. And they will feed on. And they will feed on blood or blood as well as congealed blood or blood as well and other parasites. And if you think about it, and other parasites, and if you think about it, is basically full of the blood of whatever animal it's been eating. Is basically full of the blood of whatever animal it's been eating. And sometimes oxpeckers can be. And sometimes oxpeckers can be for different animals when they do actively keep these wounds open when they do to feed off the blood. Actively keep these wounds open to feed off the blood. But Pete and his thick skin doesn't seem to mind too much. Pete and his thick skin doesn't seem to mind too much. Isn't it incredible? You can see how it's working, and the bowls have actually got serrated edges on them. And the bowls have actually got serrated edges on them. Red-billed oxpeckers. Red-billed oxpeckers. Well, hello, Pete. Oh, you decided the oxpecker might be a bit annoying now. Oh, you decided the oxpecker might be a bit annoying now. Didn't manage to get that wound below the waterline. Didn't manage to get that wound below the waterline. So there might be some ticks on the hippo that the oxpeckers would feed off. Ticks on the moment it looks like their oxpeckers would feed off, but at the moment it looks like they're focusing on the wound. It's a bit of an easier meal. Looks like his eyes are watering a little bit. Looks like his eyes are watering a little bit. Could be just walking through the bush. He might have irritated the edge of his eye. Walking through the bush, he might have irritated the edge of his eye with a stick or something. Brian, while we've got this camera that's got the punch zoom. Brian, while we've got this camera that's got the punch zoom, you can see those incredibly thick. Slide down to his nose. You can see those incredibly thick around the nose. Around the nose. And can see him, and can see taking the breath in and out, and a little bit of mud on the breath in and out, and a little bit of algae, and a little bit of mud on the nose, and a little bit of algae that got caught up in
his whiskers dried, got caught up in his whiskers. And the oxpeckers have left Pete, and I think we're going to do the same. Let's go have a look what the Queen is up to. We might bump into Jamie, who's getting ready to start her school drives. She's at Karula now, so let's go have a look up on the top of quarantine. So it has been a very chilly morning, and our search for the first impala lamb of the season is by no means over. I shall be continuing it on the Sunset Safari. Oh, it seems Donna has, after watching those oxpeckers, said it seems like the oxpeckers are vampires. Well, they do enjoy a bit of fresh blood from time to time. I don't think they have a particular preference between hemoglobin and white blood cells. Anna Marie's wondering, do any other birds? Oh, there's a vulture. A couple of vultures flying around. Anna Marie, I'll get to your question in a second. I think if the vultures head towards the tree where the kill is, Karula might still be in the tree. Definitely try to keep them at bay. And there's Jamie. And I cannot see who's under all the layers behind her, but he looks like he's who's that? Andrew. It is Andrew. And Karula has found a nice comfortable spot high in the branches. I don't think she's moved much since you were with Scotty, and she's fast asleep, defending the remnants of her kill from the vultures. And really quickly, before we run out of time and head across to Jamie, Anna Marie was wondering if there are any other birds apart from oxpeckers that do that similar service of removing ticks from the animals out here. Anna Marie, I can't think of. There's just the two species of oxpeckers. There is a bird that occurs further up in Africa called spur-winged lapwing, and they're known to feed out of crocodiles' mouths, removing irritating pieces of flesh and whatnot that are caught in the crocodiles' mouths. And that's the only one I can think of sort of similar, not quite the same. And the Queen is resting upon her throne. So I saw two species of vultures. There was a hooded vulture and a white-backed vulture. And what we'll probably find is that the hooded vulture found it first, and then the white-back saw the hooded and came in to inspect. And it always looks amazing that a leopard can sleep on a branch like that and look so comfortable. It's never quite as straight or as smooth as you would want it. I don't think I'd be able to sleep in that position. So it is warming up a little bit. Hopefully we do have a bit of clear skies for the sunset safari. And hopefully the Sunset Safari will be able to find that very difficult animal we've been searching for all morning, and the first impala lamb of the season, and hopefully you're going to be able to find them, and it's going to be quite exciting if we do. So fingers crossed, everyone. And I just heard now that there's some lions have been found in Buffalo's Hook. That's a bit far from our boundary, but so hopefully during the night and for tomorrow's sunrise safari they do manage to move their way east. And it's always great to have Karula on standby right here on quarantine. And from myself and Brian, we hope to see you on the Sunset Safari, but for the last few seconds, let's have a look at the Queen of Djuma, Karula.